guys, it's Hubster Reviews here. Before we go any further, make sure you go back and give a quick view to my Infinity Wars video. It's my top 5 and bottom 5 moments. Link is in the description down below, as are my Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you could all give us a follow, like, whatever, that'd be great. But right now we're going to discuss the second summer superhero blockbuster, and it's Deadpool 2. So, first off, I just want to talk about the timeline. It obviously continues roughly 2 years after the first one. He's happily in love with Vanessa. It's unclear whether they're married. They obviously get engaged in the first one. Whether they actually tied the knot or anything is something else entirely. But they're living happily together. They want to start a family. And then, unfortunately, tragedy strikes. And, spoilers, she dies. Spoilers, she dies. So the whole film is about Deadpool trying to find a place where he belongs. What's great about the movie is that they bring back pretty much all the cast from the first one. You've got Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who is now going out with a chick called... Oh, I've forgotten her name. Yukio. Hey, Yukio. Hey, Yukio. Hey, Yukio. The guy, his bartender friend from the first one, I've forgotten his name. But he didn't have as big a role in this second film, so he's not as important. The cab driver Dopinder has a much bigger role in this film, probably because he was so good in the first one. And obviously Cable, the big bad guy, which we'll come on to in a sec. Deadpool 2 deserves its rating of 15 here in the UK. I believe it's rated R in the States. It completely deserves it. There are blood, guts, snot, everything's in this film. He kills so many people. The humour itself is darker as well. It's still as funny, still cracking off the great one-liners, but it just had, the whole film has a darker feel to it. With the comedy comes the post-credit scenes. Now, there are quite a few. Essentially, if you know the comics, Cable is a time-travelling mutant, hell-bent on revenge. He wants to kill some 14-year-old kid. He has a time-travel device, which is then fixed. Deadpool, in a hilarious montage, goes back and A, saves his girl, B, saves X-Men Origins, and if you've seen X-Men Origins Wolverine, you know why. It's the scene at the end where Wolverine is fighting the diluted version of Deadpool, and instead Deadpool just shoots him in the head repeatedly, unloads the clip half into his face. Superb. And he also shoots himself, which is quite odd. It's a clip of Ryan Reynolds getting the script for the Green Lantern movie, which that was just terrible. So Deadpool shoots him in the head. So we're all safe from that tragedy. The cameos in Deadpool are pretty good as well. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds is a little bit in love with Hugh Jackman. Nobody blames him, but he is a little bit in love with Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's face is everywhere. As I'm sure you've seen from social media, Ryan Reynolds is desperate for Hugh Jackman to be in Deadpool 3, as is everyone else. I hope it happens. In the first film, Deadpool referenced the giant Xavier Mansion having only 2 X-Men in it, Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And again, he makes the same reference in this movie, although this time you see the young X-Men with James McAvoy, Nicholas Hoult. You see them in one of the rooms, and Beast quickly closes off the double doors, so that's a decent cameo. When Deadpool creates the X-Force, there's a character called the Vanisher, and you don't see him, that's his whole deal. He's meant to be the Invisible Man, for lack of a better term. But you do see his face once when he electrocutes himself on a telephone wire, and it's Brad Pitt. His face is only on screen for about 5 seconds. And you've got to wonder how much Brad Pitt got paid to do that 5 seconds. But he's in there nonetheless, and that was a nice touch as well. So the fights, there are probably two main ones that stick out in my mind. The first one is the initial encounter between Deadpool and Cable when they are in the icebox. So Deadpool doesn't have his powers because they attach a collar to his neck, which prohibits his healing factor and his everything else. So basically, when he's in this icebox, he is dying of cancer. Cable comes along to kill this kid, Russell, who we'll come along to in a moment, again to stop Cable's family dying. And they fight because Deadpool's trying to protect the kid even though he doesn't have powers. And the collar eventually comes off, so it becomes a better fight. They just beat 7 bells of shit out of each other. The second fight is it would have to be a completely CG fight between Colossus and the Juggernaut. Now, we last saw Juggernaut in X-Men 3, The Last Stand, played by Vinnie Jones, and he wasn't great. This Juggernaut is probably a better representation of the character from the comics. He's much taller, broader, the costume is better, but it's a completely CGI fight. It's hilarious because it is just two big double-R bastards going at each other with pipes and rods and cars and buses and everything. They literally throw everything but the kitchen sink at each other. So, Cable himself. Cable is a time-travelling mutant. I said in my Infinity Wars video, description down below, that I hated Josh Brolin because he did such a good job as Thanos. Like, he made you physically hate the character. And now I love Josh Brolin again because he made me love Cable. He plays the part so well. He's just a gruff, hard, chiseled bastard that's got half a metallic torso and a gun that you just want to have. It's insane. On the flip side of that, the other newcomer, this Russell kid, I didn't like him. I don't know whether it's... I mean, they could have gotten any 14-year-old to play the role. And why they chose this kid, I have no idea. But he's from New Zealand, and he's obviously got the accent. So whether they're thinking, ooh, Rebel Wilson's got that kind of accent, and she's apparently funny. I don't think she is. I think she's terrible. But whether that's where they came from, I don't know. I didn't like the kid who played him. Hopefully, I'll never see him in a film again. Deadpool, once Vanessa dies, Deadpool is looking for a place to call his own. Like, he felt like he lost everything. And you really see a bromance develop between him and Colossus, because Colossus doesn't give up on him. Negasonic Teenage Warhead couldn't give a shit. But Colossus is always there. He literally picks up Deadpool's pieces and puts him back together. If you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm on about. And you see Deadpool realise that more people care about him than what he ever thought. And that he likes Dolly Parton. But again, if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm on about. Overall, Deadpool 2, just as good as the first. I wouldn't say it's better than. It's definitely just as good as. And if you haven't seen it, get down to your local cinema and give it a watch, because it is incredible. Then after you've done that, come back and watch this video. Even if you've watched it before. Watch this, go watch Deadpool, come back and watch this, so this makes more sense. But definitely a strong 8.5 out of 10. I've been Hubster Reviews, and this has been my best and worst moments of Deadpool 2. Thanks, guys. Bye.